Kashmir and around the region. Colonel Ganyard, thanks for walking us through it.
Thanks, Brad.
For years, there's been this trend of abusive people online, taking advantage of young people. The playbook is often frighteningly familiar. Befriend a victim, convince them to give you compromising material, and then use that material to threaten and exploit them further. The stories are horrific. Some have ended in suicide. And I usually think of these perpetrators as one-off creeps, but recently, ABC's investigative unit, along with several ABC-owned and affiliated stations around the country, took a closer look and found some of these people acting in concert with each other. In fact, there are enough common threads here that authorities have been investigating this as a national security concern. ABC's Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has been reporting on this across all of our platforms this week. Pierre, this group is known by a number, right? What is 764?
Well, 764 has its origins in Texas. A teenager who lived in a zip code that began with the number 764 helped launch this ideology, now what is being called by the FBI a network. And this network is one that's unique. The FBI had to coin a new term, nihilistic violent extremists. The FBI coined that phrase because what do you call a network that isn't trying to gain anything financially, whose sole goal seems to be to sow chaos and to foment violence? Nihilistic violent extremists. And basically, they want, in general terms, to see the world order sort of disassembled.
They will encourage them sometimes to commit suicide. They will encourage them to do cutting. They will encourage them to harm their pets.
We spoke to the FBI counterterrorism chief, and he said it's unlike anything he's ever seen. And the more details that kept coming in, he said, what is this? This is extraordinary, sinister. And again, a group that, network that has national security implications, but also reaching directly into households and seeking to harm young people.
They're using basically psychological warfare on children. That's right. They gain the trust, and then they continue to build that trust to the point where they have power and the ability to blackmail the child, basically.
They want to sow chaos wherever they can. There doesn't appear to be much of a financial motive, but they've also done something that has caused great concern in the FBI, which is to focus on young people and children.
The general age group that we're looking at is from 10 to 17, but as we've seen as young as 9, which is really disturbing in itself, but generally it's anybody that's online that they can target.
And then manipulating them into doing increasingly harmful things to themselves.
What does that end up looking like in real life? How does it work?
Well, we looked at one case out of Connecticut in which a man who is believed to be overseas befriends a teenage girl on social media and then makes her think that he's her boyfriend, and then goes on to get her to send him pornographic material. And then he starts manipulating her, allegedly into helping him get information about that community.
So you sometimes have victims, and sometimes juvenile victims, who then become subjects themselves because they start to go out and perpetrate acts on behalf of the individual who victimized them. Wow.
And she provided him some inside information. Next thing you know, he's sending and participating in very sadistic bomb threats.
I'm pleased to explosives.